So, why Canadians believe it will only get better from here? All right. So, I have 10 points that I would love to talk to you about why that might not be the way it will unfold, unfortunately, right? Like, I'm not trying to be negative in a video. I'm just trying to throw my point of view across, right? So, I don't think that we are in that atmosphere currently that Canada can find one quick solution that will work across the board. Yes, there are many different situations to many different Canadians happening at the same time, but it seems like that most of the things are falling apart, starting obviously with real estate. We can see huge cracks in Toronto, GTA, British Columbia, two biggest lubricated machines for decades are falling apart. Now, if you step out, from these big cities in Canada here, I mean, it's a complete disaster. I mean, people are selling real estate for pennies on the dollar, right? And it will get worse because the buyers are no longer interested in the suburbs, right? Like, we had that push when it comes to the suburbs, throughout the pandemic period and whatnot. But everything is changing now. So what are they left with? They're left with debt ratios. They're left with driving to work for hours and all of that stuff, right? So I would like to get into these 10 points, just trying to maybe throw a different angle when it comes to still believing that everything will just work out, and it always does. And it might be true, but how long is it going to take? So let's get right into the points. So Canadians grew up believing the system rewards effort and not timing. And I remember that, right? Like, it was just simple, right? Like, everybody, it's that push. It's that, who's going to do it faster? The sooner you buy, the more money you'll make. And so on, right? Like, just take risk. And if you don't take risks, there are no rewards. And there's definitely truth to that. But nobody seemed to care about the losses, right? Like, it seemed like you can never lose. As long as you risk it, you'll be fine, right? For decades, buying anything meant profit. It became instinct and not strategy. And I heard it throughout decades, right? Like, in the past, like, people were just like, hey, just buy it, throw some paint on it, change some laminated floors, and you can make $100,000, like, just like that, right? And it might have been true back in the day. I've met people who finished, degrees and schools and universities and all of that stuff, went into construction, not because of love of construction. They just went there because they saw the opportunity of flips, and everybody is flipping the nonsense. Like, I've seen some catastrophic jobs out there, but it was selling. Like, it was just like, let me just give it to the next guy, and then they'll figure it out, right? So it seemed like that it was very beneficial to many people, and they were just kind of rolling the dice, and that dice will fall in the right place, right? Winners programming runs deep. Not one was taught how to lose. So not many people were taught, right? Like it seemed like the entire belief and the psychology was only, geared towards winning, right? Which is good to have. Like, it's a good, how am I gonna say, mental strategy. Like, you want to win, but what happens, when you lose, right? And Mike Tyson said once, like, everyone has a plan until they get hit in the face, right? So this is exactly the situation, right? So you got hit in the face, now it's about getting up, right? And Sylvester Stallone said that too, right? Like, it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you can get up and stuff like that. So that's the situation we're in. And it seems like that, not a lot of people are able or can afford that knockout. Like there's no chance that they will recover from the one hit knockout. All right, realtors repeat one mantra: every house sells, but not every seller survives. And that is so true, right? Like being in that world of real estate and having that, talk and all of that stuff, like it doesn't matter with who you speak, it's the same mantra. It's like, oh, don't worry, it'll sell. Everything sells. Eventually it sells. I'm like, but what about, what about that person selling? Are they going to survive? So it's like, it just seems like everyone cares more about brick and mortar than the actual person in the brick and mortar or the situation. So it is weird, but it has been kind of cycling and recycling in the same patterns, it seems like. Failure stories are buried. No one brags about losing half of their equity. And guys, this is a big one, right? Everyone hears these success stories, like, started from the bottom, now they're on the top and all of that stuff, right? Like, everyone is bragging about these wins. And I have mentioned that before, like, during that time of unprecedented peaks and whatever, like every post that I saw on social media was somebody bragging about their win current or how they're gonna do the next win and all of that stuff, posing, right? Like, this is my new place or whatever, right? Like just making up weird stories. Like it was almost like, oh my gosh, right? So I don't see these people now, but anyways, it's just like it was unrealistic, because at the end of the day, it was not your ability or your education or your know-how of making it work. It's just the market was cycling it that way, and you were just in it, right? Like I remember kids bragging to their parents how they know what they were doing, right? And all of that stuff, and the parents were like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know what you're talking about, right? But that's the truth. So I don't know, it's just crazy, right? And I know for a fact that nobody will sit there and brag about the fact that they lost a couple $100,000 or that they made a bad move or whatever the case might be, right? Like it's depressing to talk about that, even though I would like to acknowledge that many of the viewers and subscribers on this channel share their story truthfully, right? Like they're open about it, they shared it, they said, look, it happened, like this is real. People lose stuff. It's not always sunshine out there, right? All right, so market pain is invisible because those who fail disappear quietly. Yes, that's another section or extension to the first explanation, because everyone wants to obviously feel on top, and it's hard to find or know the truth of what happened. So it's kind of like always somebody else's fault and whatnot and this and that, and they kind of get out of it and they move on. Success became a script: work, buy, refinance, repeat until math broke it simply. All right, so I did talk about that many times on my channel, in my videos, and this is just something that people got used to, right? Like I could never understand it. Like, I had coaches before and whatnot, and they're like, like, you have to know how much money you're gonna make next year. Like, what are you talking about, right? Like, I understand the numbers game and how things can be measured and calculated or whatever, right? Like, there's definitely truth to that. But, like, look, at the end of the day, man, like, like based on the imaginary number, I have to predict it, pull it off, and make sure that I go in the right amount, if not more, in debt or a mortgage or risk, because don't worry about it. If you only work hard, you can get it. Like, wow, like incredible, right? Like I was not against it, but I was against many things. I'm like, I cannot spend what I don't have. Like, I mean, like, yes, I can extend myself, but it was always my pet peeve. Like, I always like, I don't know, I was never easy about that, right? So, I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. Even in crisis, people chase the next opportunity, not the warning signs. Yes, there are a lot of opportunities, right? And listen, like I heard that many times, you know, people say, yeah, but you know, things go upside down and there are opportunities out there and this and that. And yeah, I get it. Like I understand, but that's not what we're talking about. Like everyone is saying like, look, I have $10 million sitting on let's say an account and I'm waiting for the opportunity. That person makes the opportunity and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. No, like find me someone with $1,000 that's gonna make $1 million in the next 3 years. Find me that person. Don't find me a person that has $10 million that's gonna make $1,000. I can do that, anybody can do that, right? So like we have to be reasonable how we are deciphering what's what, right? Like same thing with you know, portfolios. So when people are diversifying portfolios and stuff like that, like I've been around these tables and whatnot, like, and it's only bragging rights. Oh, this is what you should do. Buy this, buy Bitcoin, buy this, buy stocks, buy real estate, buy this. Oh my gosh, like I'm like, okay, so what happened? It's only bragging rights. They have no idea what they're talking about. No, zero, nothing, right? Like they're just like whatever sticks. But it's also dangerous because you're not focused on one thing. Like, right? Like you're not focused on paying off maybe your mortgage and sticking to one thing, like what you, like previous generations used to do, right? It's like diversify. And then when you see some equity, double up and diversify, double up and double up. So you basically have all kinds of stuff and you got no money. Like you're broke, right? Like all you are growing is more liability, right? So I don't know. Please let me know what you think about that. So I'm curious. The belief in recovery is stronger than the fear of collapse, and that could be a trap. Yeah, so listen, people, like it's good to be optimistic. I understand, like be optimistic. Like it's good to think positive, right? But also, I strongly recommend and believe that both sides have to be equally analyzed, right? Taking a board and say, look, this is what could happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 example. And none of those examples are wrong. It can happen. What is the scenario 1 and what are we going to do? And scenario 7 or scenario 48. And I believe it's recommended to do it with your partner, spouse, maybe parents or brothers and sisters. I don't know how close you are and with who you're close. But it's good to throw these scenarios on the table and just see what happens if it happens, right? And at least you know all the different scenarios, right? And I believe that, you know, most of these, you know, martial artists and stuff like that, like they practice certain movements. If they ever get in that situation, they already know how to move there, right? There may be a not stronger a fighter or opponent, but they know the movement. So, but if you never talked about the movement, or if you never practice at least on a whiteboard, what are you hoping for? Then you're just hoping for luck. You're hoping somebody else maybe fixes your problem, and then you go from there. Anyways, optimism isn't confidence anymore. It's denial dressed in hope. Yeah, so as mentioned, I mean, like it's, I believe personally that anything really is possible nowadays, right? Like every scenario has to be taken into consideration. It has to have some kind of a structure. What happens if this happens? What happens with employment? We're being hit with so many things at the same time. Like, most people are not realizing that, you know, like, everything is moving in such high speed that you know, to some people, like, they're gonna be instinct. Like, it's as simple as that, right? Like, whether they want to believe it or not, like, graphic designers, like, the AI is just disrupting that industry, right? Like most of you guys, you know, use ChatGPT to write maybe your emails, text messages, poems, or what, I don't know, whatever you're doing with that. But that platform is so powerful. It's incredibly powerful, and it will do so much more stuff in the future, right? And I think with that quantum speed where we're heading, like, it can do wonders. Well, and how that's going to benefit us per se, I really don't know, or not benefit us. But it's definitely time to sit down and to see what 2026 will look like for each individual separately. So I hope you gained some value out of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.